are encouraged.
Can we get a cup of coffee in here, please?
Damn good coffee and hot.
Wake up, America. You've got a dog that needs walking. That's right, sunshine. Just put on a big pot of strong coffee and get ready to type your little hate mail with your opinions about kumbaya and flat earth insanity. Stand-up comedy? You want stand-up comedy? Well, we've got sit-down comedy. It's time for Coffee with a Dog. You make me laugh.
Oh, that's good coffee. Best coffee of the year so far. Oh, good morning, people of Earth and other close by planets. It is, what is today? It's Tuesday, January 2nd. I'm already forgetting the date. Already forgetting the date. Tuesday, January 2nd, 2024. Get used to saying that. 2024. I'm like Rain Man. 2024. Yeah. Kmart underwear. Anyway, it's great to have you here. I hope it's a beautiful day wherever you are. It's a brisk winter day. There's about 11 and a half weeks left of winter, and that's getting me a little psyched. I am a little, I don't want to say optimistic. I'm a little hopeful for 2024. Um, not for the big picture of humanity, not for the United States of America, even. For me and a few of my friends. That's who I'm a little hopeful for. Not like unbridled optimism. Of course, everything I do comes with uh, a little taste of pessimism. What it has finally happened, though. I'm on the Tom Segura fanboy shit list, if you will. AI has put out a clip from my original rant about Tom Segura being a shitty person, where I talk about him punching down on and beating up on poor people and all this stuff, and acting like he's a self-made man. He's not a self-made man, but all of that stuff. But it took a 30-second clip, or less than 30 seconds even, I'm not sure, but it's not more than a minute, and where I'm just saying Tom Segura is a shitty person, and I'm not saying anything to back it up in that clip. I'm not saying why he's a shitty person. I'm just saying he's a shitty person. And AI published that because I have given Opus AI license to publish to my social media stuff and to YouTube. And so they published that, I guess, late last night. And within a couple of minutes, we got several thousand views and lots of comments from people who love Tom Segura, who now hate me. And that's good news. In a weird upside down world, being hated, having people angry at you on YouTube is desirable. If you're going to be on YouTube, you might as well be hated. So there I am, getting some negative comments and appreciating it. So keep the hate mail coming, folks. We love it. It helps grow the channel. What else can I say? I hope you had a safe and happy New Year's celebration. I actually slept in the last 2 days. I woke up after 11, or yesterday it was actually afternoon, after 12, about 10 afternoon yesterday, 10 minutes after noon, not 10 o'clock. Anyway, because I was up late gigging, and the New Year's Eve gig was, I guess, one for the books. I guess. Well, first of all, it's a long drive on New Year's Eve, and with all the drunks out on the road, there's some concern there that it's like a video game. You gotta kind of navigate through the crazy drunken people on the road both ways. But was managed to get there and get home safe. What struck me is it was a sold out room and a very good crowd, very enthusiastic crowd, ready to party crowd, of course, New Year's Eve. We were on the floor. The band is on the floor. And I talked about how I love being on the floor in dive bars, but this is not a dive bar we were in. But we were on the floor, no stage, and hundreds of people dancing. There's some video of it I'm going to eventually share. I just didn't have the time to cut some pieces out yesterday. But overwhelming amount of people dancing on the floor close to the band, bumping into mic stands. And I talked about how I used to love that, again, in dive bars, but this is not a dive bar. But people dancing right by the band, bumping into mic stands, stepping on pedals, that kind of that close. Hundreds and hundreds of people dancing. But it occurred to me that things have changed a little bit in regard to, it used to be people in their late 30s and 40s dancing in front of the band. Now it's people in their hundreds, 200s, 300s, old people. Everybody got so old really quickly. And as I looked around the room, it was like, what happened? And let's face it, I'm old, but looking outward, my eyes don't see the old that's here. They just see the old that's there and say, what the fuck happened? How did everybody get so old? Everybody got old. A woman came up to me. Now, keep in mind, she's 67 years old. She comes up to me. She goes, Matt Napo. We took a break, by the way. She comes up to me on break and says, Matt Napo. Yes. Who am I? I don't fucking know. She said, Lisa Romeo. Oh, Lisa Romeo. I remember you. She lived across the street from me. Moved away when I was 4 or 5. So keep in mind, I have not seen her in 60 years. Matt Napo, who am I? I'm supposed to recognize your face. After not seeing you 60 years, for 60 years, when the last time I saw you, you were 7 years old and I was 5 or 4, somewhere in there. So it was nice to see her. Again, haven't seen her in 60 years, but I started talking about people in the neighborhood because a friend who lived next door to me at the time, one of my best friends growing up, bought her parents' house, and I said, Phil Cascato bought your house. She said, who's that? Well, that's kind of flattering. You don't remember him, but you remember me. That's pretty flattering because I was like the least memorable little kid on the block. So, but it's very strange to just somebody come up to you and say, "Who am I?" And you're supposed to recognize their face after 60 years. The face that when you last saw it was a child's face, and now it's 67 years old. Very strange stuff. We don't have a guest scheduled today. I want to talk about Epstein. The Epstein client list is supposed to come out today, and it's got a lot of people freaking out. The questions are really, what would shock you about the list? What potentially would you find shocking? And I want to talk about that. I'll save that idea for when William GD is missing, by the way, and no word about that. I hope he's okay. Hopefully, maybe I have a text message. Maybe it's from him. Could be from him. Just let me check this out. No, it doesn't look like from him. Anyway, I hope he's okay. Hope he had a safe holiday weekend. Haven't heard from him. So anyway, what else? Oh, we're going to the lizard people. I don't know if you've heard about this, but and it kind of ties into the Epstein's list thing. Some of the people in MAGA world now, doesn't come directly from Trump. I think it comes more from the Alex Jones side of MAGA world. They're floating a new conspiracy theory, or not conspiracy, conspiracy, sci-fi nut job theory that in order to prevent the Epstein list from coming out, the government and people within the government who are secretly reptilians or lizard people or alien lizard people are going to come out and take over the government. But here's the weird part about this: is they think Biden is one of them, which would not really, if there are reptilians, sure, why not throw Biden on the list? But he's already in charge of the government. Why would he? Why would he need to overthrow the government as a lizard to stay in charge of something he's already in charge of? Doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. But they are actually floating this lizard people thing as if they truly believe in it, which is really odd. Um, I talked about the Segura thing. A couple other things I'm going to want to touch on here. Freddie Prinze. Freddie Prinze. Well, you don't know Freddie Prinze, right? Probably young people are not familiar with Freddie Prinze. Freddie Prinze was a comedian who killed himself very young. He was like 22, 23 when he killed himself. Last night, I saw his debut clip. It's on YouTube, where he was on the Johnny Carson show, Tonight Show with Johnny Carson, for the very first time at 19 years old. Let's say that again. Debut on the Tonight Show with Johnny Carson, which was the premier venue to be on if you were a comedian in the 70s, 60s, 70s, even 80s. Being on the Tonight Show with Johnny Carson was the career maker uh, opportunity. And he's on Johnny Carson with his debut appearance on national television at 19 years old, a year and a half out of high school, and fucking killed. Fucking killed. And the professionalism, and just when you look at it, and maybe I'll post a clip in the description. When you look at it, look for joke structure, look for his just natural ability to be a really smooth communicator with some really unique perspective, but to tie it all in perfectly in the amount of time they allowed him on the Tonight Show. I think it was like 6 minutes, maybe a little longer. But he ended his piece just as he ended his piece on a perfect callback to a setup he started 6 minutes earlier. And for a 19-year-old kid to have that much professionalism and structure, mind blowing. You won't see that again in the world of comedy. You won't see a 19-year-old come out and be able to stand shoulder to shoulder with some of the greats in comedy and be that professional, that like really, really polished and really just amazing. Freddie Prinze, if you're a student of comedy and you don't know about Freddie Prinze, get to know Freddie Prinze and know a little bit about him. Look at, again, there's not a whole lot of body of work because he was only around for a very short time and killed himself. And that whole thing is really mind-blowing too, that why a 23-year-old who's on top of the world, hit television show, he had his own television show called Chico and the Man, which was a top-rated show on network television, sitcom. By the time he was 21, and he was riding that success, ended up killing himself. Like, man, the world is your oyster. And obviously a super bright kid, and I'll talk a little more about this with Willie when he comes in just a moment. Is that he was a graduate of the New York City High School for the Performing Arts. I think we need more of that. Now, the high school of the performing arts, they kind of like highlighted that in the movie Fame, and there was a television show Fame, but it wasn't just about performing arts. You didn't go to school. GD's trying to let himself in automatically. He can't do that. Um, uh, it wasn't just about performing arts. You went to academic high school, but the performing arts was a big part of the curriculum. So the people who went there, brilliantly educated. Freddie Prinze at 19 years old was an adult, was a sophisticated adult who can hold a conversation with anybody, any age, and really demanded respect as an adult. I didn't at 19. At 19, I was still fucking learning to fucking talk without drooling. I was still, I think I was still wearing diapers at 19. All right, maybe that's a little, maybe. I think I'm wearing diapers now. I'll check. Feels like I am. Anyway, really impressive thing. Last thing, karaoke. Well, it's good to know people love Willie. People love Willie. Now, I got a letter from a email from Alicia Bertaglia. I think that's how you say her name. And said that, why am I so condensating? I think she meant condescending, but she said condensating, which would mean I'm leaving little water drops on karaoke singers. Not not the case. I was not putting down karaoke singers. Willie was thinking about doing Disturbed, cover of Sound of Silence, which was Simon and Garfunkel. And he talked about some of the challenges in there. And what I said was, a lot of people on the karaoke level singers, did not understand the difference between harmony lines and melody lines. And this is true even in that Disturbed cover. I believe the singer goes to a harmony line during a couple of those parts, but finds himself and goes back to the melody line. But when you have a song that was originally done with two-part harmony, and you're not a trained singer and haven't been around music directors and been in bands and all that kind of stuff, it can be confusing, especially like a song like Simon and Garfunkel, where Garfunkel's is by far the prettier voice, the voice your ear is going to go to, but he's singing a harmony on Sounds of Silence. So it's very common for somebody who's not a trained or schooled singer to drift off. And that's what I mean by karaoke level singers. Karaoke level singers. And then granted, there are some really talented people singing karaoke and strong voices and good voices, but not necessarily experienced professional singers. And so if they don't know the difference between harmony and melody, they could drift to a harmony line and not be able to find their way back. I said that this Alicia Bertaglia was Bertaglia, yeah, uh, was really upset with me, thinking that I was putting down all karaoke singers. I'm assuming that she's a karaoke singer herself. Listen, if you want to sing karaoke, knock yourself out. Just understand the point I was trying to make was not about putting people down. Anyway, it's time to let the gentleman in. Let me just change my background here to accommodate for three people. Um, Damn, I'm a couple of days off and I'm lost with this stuff. How do you do this again? Oh yeah, it's over here. That's right. It's three people. It'd be. I'm just looking for the right setup here, folks. Give me 1 minute. Is it this one? That doesn't say three. Vid, this one, right? No. Let's see. No, that puts me and Willie in the same little box. What puts all of us in the same little box? That's not cool. How about this one? No, that ain't it. Good morning, fellas. Here it is. How about that one? That one took me long enough to find. Good morning, fellas.
Glad to see the GD's up, right?
Everybody's quiet. Are you all muted? Yeah, your sound is all fucked up again. And GD, you got nothing. You got no audio.
Come on. I hear me in my headphones.
Well, I basically just hear you just really, really low.
Is that better?
Typical. We're starting the year off just the way we ended last year with technical problems.
Seems better to me. Is that not better?
Yeah, you're getting a little louder. Go ahead, keep going. Crank that shit all the way to 10, 11.
Maybe this one. Is that how about now? Maybe I just need to get closer.
Getting closer definitely helps, but I don't know. Maybe going. Are you going through the board with that mic? Maybe you should just go
Yeah.
directly into the laptop, and it
Plug the mic into the laptop.
I wouldn't do it right now. Right now, you're better. You're working. Oh, it's too late. Did you just?
Yeah, it's smart.
Anyway, GD, talk. Nope, you got nothing. Nope, you got nothing. Anyway,
I had to see that we're starting 2024 as usual.
yeah, no, your audio is terrible. I can't hear you. Yeah. Oh, more cracking up. Maybe maybe I should take you guys out and let you come back when you. Man, I don't understand. We got new equipment, and it's
Yeah, this is an idiot running.
and definitely the cables. Cables are a problem. You can hear that with your stuff. GD has left, and that's a good thing. When you don't have audio, you should talk.
Leave and come back.
Yeah, no, you were sounding better when you were just on your phone, which is
Well, I was directly into. Let me try directly.
Anyway, while you're, you know what? Go ahead, talk. And no, you got nothing now. You totally got nothing. Now it's the minute totally. No, the wire stuff is really painful for people. No good. I'm gonna put you out. Maybe work on your stuff and come back when you're not. Anyway, so we're back to this. Anyway, well, that was nice to see the guys. Happy New Year, fellas. Good to see you. The Epstein list. I'm gonna start there, and if Willie can get his audio back together, just give me a wave when you think you got your audio working. I don't think I don't know what's going on. Anyway, the Epstein list. People ask me what would shock. There's a lot of things that would shock me when that list comes out today. If first of all, it would not shock me if the list did not come out today, and people are getting all excited to see this list. It wouldn't shock me in the least to see it. Just false alarm. We're not putting it out. Kind of like when Trump took office, we were expecting the JFK files to be released, and they were supposed to by law, and they weren't. And under Biden, they still haven't been. So there's that. So that would not shock me in the least if we saw nothing come from that. It looks like GD's trying to come in with the. I guess he's having tech problems too. Hello?
Yeah.
Now you're loud, but that's okay. I can lower you from here. Good morning.
Okay. Hey, good morning. Good morning.
Happy New Year. Yeah, you're zoomed up there. Mic settings. Try now. Talk. Hello.
Hello.
Oh yeah, that's perfect. Perfect.
Okay. Yeah, my mic is way too high. I was fucking with the volume because I was fine before I got on air. Checked all my levels, and then once I got popped in, everything went doo doo.
Willie, you all right? No, he's got nothing. Willie, can you hear me? He's looking down. All right, he's not ready yet.
All
So
right.
anyway, Happy New Year. Do you have a what kind of weekend did you have? A holiday weekend? Did you go out? Did you stay home, watch the Twilight Zone marathon?
No. Carol and I have very quiet New Year's now. We just stay home and probably fall asleep around 9, and then wake up around 1, say Happy New Year, and go back to sleep.
Ah, well, that's nice. Well,
Yeah.
I was rocking and rolling and sleeping in late and being a bad boy and enjoying it. You know what? I I like the rock and roll atmosphere on New Year's Eve. People are ready to party. It's more like they're more ready to get involved than a regular gig. They are ready to let it all hang out. So,
Yeah,
but,
yeah, yeah,
but people got old. Oh, you want to say
yeah.
Mind Dog Coffee? Mind Dog Coffee
Oh, oh yeah,
doesn't
sure.
suck. Mind Dog Coffee doesn't suck.
Mine dog coffee. I don't always drink coffee. Sometimes I drink tea. Mine dog coffee and tea.
Wow. No marketing line, as they say, marketing.
I didn't know you was going to be on the air this morning because I didn't when I looked at last time I looked at the schedule there was like nothing on it until the third, and even
Uh,
on YouTube the next upcoming was for the third.
oh, well, it's all stacked up now. Yeah, I was having a weekend. I was tired. I
Yeah,
was overworked. Willie,
so
talk to me.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Can you hear us?
Yes,
Yes.
that's
Yes.
good. That's
Yes. You can't hear
fabulous.
me?
All right.
Can you hear
I
me?
can.
All right. All right.
Yes.
All right. We're
We're
rocking
great.
and rolling.
All gravy, baby. We're fucking
Do you
25
know
minutes in and we got
do
everything
you
going.
do you know how to keep this setting that you have now so next time you come on it'll be the same?
Listen, I'll try for consistency, but we know how good that goes with
All
me.
right, yeah. All right, I'll come
We know
back.
how good. I got the consistency of peanut butter.
All right, I'll come back to the Epstein thing a little bit later, but I first I want to get caught up with you guys. Now, um, you did have a weekend, right? We're starting with Friday. You did the karaoke contest. You didn't win.
Yes,
There were
I
ringers
did.
in
I
there.
did not win. I made the cut to 8 because we started with 15. I made the cut to 8, and then they cut it down to 5, and I missed that cut. There
Yeah,
were phenomenal singers, but I didn't know. So I didn't. I didn't know that. Like, so I don't know why this company, this DJ company that they have or whatever, they basically had a work party and were giving out Christmas bonuses uh, and invited the public to come and participate. But
it,
like it was
it
very
sounds
clear
like
that
it was
like
fixed. That's what
yeah,
it.
yeah, it like and I didn't know going into it that it was going to be a bunch of the karaoke DJs from around the region like basically came and did a night of singing, and it was great. It was a lot of fun. But there was no way I was going to win. Like I was never getting into that top 5, and that's whatever. I wish I'd have known that going in because then I wouldn't have been as hopeful or whatever. Because when you go into a situation like that, like you don't have a snowball's chance in hell.
I don't
So
like it. It makes me feel like we should do an expose on this whole fucking thing because it feels like it's cheating and it's taking advantage of people. In other
yeah,
words, all the people that entered like you came expecting they had a fair chance to win, and that was not true.
right, yeah. Like the only people that they were going to give money to were people that worked for the company that was putting on the contest. like,
I want to go
like
choke the shit out of these fucking people for
I
that.
mean,
Like,
I remember back in the day, you couldn't be associated with a company that was putting on a prize winning contest. You
right.
know what I mean? Like you couldn't, hell, even your family usually couldn't be associated.
Should still be that way, which is
It should. Yeah, it was kind of in that regard, I was displeased, but it was a fun night. There was a lot of phenomenal singers. It's not like they weren't good singers.
no.
You know what I mean?
That's
Like,
what I was trying to, because this Lisa Bertaglia person who wrote me this email seemed like to think that I was trying to put down karaoke singers. Like I know there's some really strong voices. There are some really great voices, and people
yeah,
with like lots of range and all that kind of stuff singing in
right.
karaoke. It's just it's a really um you can't really make a living at it unless you like that. The movie Duet. You remember the movie Duet where they're going from town to town and entering contests and all that kind of stuff. You could make a living out of it doing that, but it's really hard to
Right.
establish yourself as a singer in the karaoke world. Um, but when it's fixed, it
Yeah, I
really
mean,
fucking
I,
works.
I think it. I think you could. There's probably a lot of people that make their living doing that. But they just they're regularly doing things throughout the week. I mean, if you're gigging 4 or 5 days a week, I mean, you're gonna make a living at it unless you're
Right.
not
If they're
not doing very well.
paying contests that often, that's good.
Yeah,
But
no. I mean, like if you're a karaoke DJ and you go around doing
oh
those
yeah,
DJ gigs,
absolutely,
you
no
can
doubt
definitely make
about
it.
that.
But yeah, no, just doing it as a singer would be difficult. But
But
like
that's
that's more so what Danica and I would really like to get into is we want to be like a mobile entertainment unit to where, I have a speaker set up and, like, and we could just, pretty much anywhere we go, I could do either a comedy show or we could do a mixture of comedy and singing, or we could do karaoke, be able to do all of those different things. That's ideally what we want to be able to do, is just move around and do those wherever.
would you now with the karaoke stuff in I'm really not educated on this stuff at all because I've never even been to a karaoke bar.
It's so much fun. I don't
But
know,
because I'm gigging, why would I go
Well,
to
yeah. You got bigger fish to
yeah,
fry. I
yeah.
get it.
But back in the day, I know the karaoke systems came. You had to buy a big television monitor. Is that still for the lyrics and stuff? Is that still the case? I mean, you have to have
I
the
mean,
sound system and like a visual
right. A
display.
lot of the bars now have televisions that you can link up to. You know what I mean? Like there's
All right.
usually like if you might have to have a way to feed into their system or whatever, but usually you can use the televisions that are set up in the bar. That's what I see most often nowadays.
Do you need the lyrics?
Most of the time, no. Like not with the songs I do most of the time,
Right.
because like my Star Maker has made it to where I sing these songs multiple times a week, and most of them I know pretty well. I might take a glance to make sure I start in the right spot or whatever, or at least close to, because that's the for singing, that's actually where I probably struggle with the most is the cues, but it's because I'm very like, and this is something that a lot of people don't know about me, but I'm very hard of hearing, like extremely
I
hard
don't
of
know
hearing.
who doesn't know that now, unless they're hard of hearing. I don't know.
Oh, wait.
But,
I'm adjusting your mic now.
but like, no, I
Loud
mean,
again.
like, listen, you say you're hard of hearing, people don't get it. You know what I mean? People like it, like I'm mostly fucking deaf. Like, and so, and to me, like, and this is something that I've talked about for my comedy and stuff like that. Like, it is so difficult to gauge how you're doing when you can't hear an audience. Like, bro, I gotta hit the whole crowd, or I don't hear a laugh. I don't hear the laughter.
I'm deaf. I'm deaf, and I've talked about this where I've had back in the day, and I think you commented, "Why didn't I feel it vibrating?" Where I had a phone sitting on my chest and it rang, and my girlfriend said, "Are you going to answer that?" That's how deaf I am. But my wife was watching Deal or No Deal on like some streaming TV or something app. And when they're picking numbers, there's this loop that plays underneath it where it's like it's all this dramatic sci-fi type of music going on. And I said, that fucking loop is fucking annoying. She said, how do you hear it? Because she couldn't hear it. She didn't know what I was talking about. I said,
that's probably the frequency of it.
It gets it gets loud and low, but right as they're opening the case, it's a really ominous part, like open the case and I was like, it gets so fucking annoying if they would just, stop the loop on it. It's an endless loop. It's like it was driving me nuts. And she's like, I can't believe you can hear that. It's like some things just, cut through all the ringing in my ears, and I can hear them like painfully annoying. Anyway.
Yeah, I remember the last time I did an audiogram, there's a certain there's like a section of my hearing that's like incredibly bad. There's like certain sounds because like I remember when I was married to my second wife, there was sometimes that her TV would make like this really loud like pitch noise, and it would drive both her and my stepson bonkers. I didn't even hear it. Wasn't even on my register of shit that it picked up for me.
So when you hear people talking about dog whistles, that doesn't apply to you. It doesn't apply to me.
Right. Yeah. No, I've never heard a dog whistle.
No.
Although it makes me afraid.
Anything else significant about your holiday weekend here? Did you do anything?
I DJ'd a 12-step recovery evening. That was really fun.
Wow.
on New Year's Eve. That was super fun.
My brother thinks he's
Why
he's a
did you go low all of a sudden?
I did. I went low.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know why your
Uh-oh.
sound just dropped out super low.
I don't
You
know.
didn't drop out here. It
All right.
sounds the same here.
See, now you're weird like that too. Why is it happening? Why is that happening?
I don't know, but you could stop saying why is that
But
happening?
I'm fine to you guys. Okay, I can deal
Yeah,
with it, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, my brother kind of fancies himself a stand-up comedian because he speaks a lot at the 12-step meetings, and he generally tries to be funny, and he gets his stand-up comedy fix at 12-step meetings. This guy- he said he had a sold-out room on New Year's Eve. They had like I don't know, Alcohol Anonymous marathon or something. Like it was like
Oh, they had a marathon meeting.
yeah, like one of those 24-hour meetings, and
Yep.
it was bizarre though. But yeah, he basically looks forward to that like it's a gig. Good for him.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's an interesting gig, I guess. So when you did that, what did you do? You just you DJ'd it, but what is it? A dance? They're dancing totally straight.
Yeah. It was a dance. And it was. I pretty much had a playlist that I made up, and I actually made a link. I made a Spotify link that anybody and I tried to make it to where it could be easy and people didn't have to come up and yell to the DJ what song they want to hear. So I made a Spotify link that they could send songs to, and nobody used it. Nobody fucking used it.
That
Everybody
doesn't
came up
surprise
and
me
told me what
at
fucking
all.
songs they wanted and shit. And like I was like, I'm trying to make it so easy you don't got to get out of your chair. But no, you want to come over here and holler at me. All right. But so and I was actually impressed. I did 17 song requests during the dance because I counted it up later how many, because I still use that playlist for the requests so that I knew which were requests and which were different. And
do you make them write it down, the request? Like, because
I just had them tell me, and I typed it into my search.
But that's what got me confused now, because you just talked about how hard of hearing you are. When people come up to me with the band and they want to talk to me, I just go like this. I can't hear a fucking word they say. Like
Right.
I generally try to tell them, talk to Mike. And when they don't talk to Mike and they keep talking to me, and I'm just gonna yes them to death. Yeah. I ain't fucking playing with it because I don't hear you.
How many gigs have you gotten that way?
I don't know.
Can you guys come play? Yeah, sure we can.
Oh yeah, I did tell somebody I would go on Friday night, Saturday night. No, it might have been New Year's Eve. I told somebody I would go absolutely anywhere. She said, "Well, I got a gig for you in Fort Myers, Florida." No, I can't do it. Anyway, old people, man, old people. Here's the interesting thing about New Year's Eve. If there were 5 or 6 people under 50 years old, that would have been a lot in the room. Everybody was at least 50, some of them 80 or older. I get this guy, he comes up to me, and I have a picture of him. I'll share it tomorrow, or he's on video. I'll cut it out. He had to be 80 years old. And he says, he comes over to me, he goes, "Can you play Enter Sandman by Metallica?" Huh?
Nice.
I was like,
That's dope as
maybe we
fuck.
could, but take a look around this room. You think anybody is gonna, these people are we're playing. I think at the time we had just finished playing "O'Donna" by Richie Valens.
That's a great one.
And he
That's a
wants
great
us to
one.
play Metallica. I was like, are you being serious? Because I don't think anybody but in this room, but you and me, even know what that is.
Hopefully the band would. Hopefully the band would know.
Yeah.
I will say that I'm really proud of how diverse my playlist was, because like everybody, like one of the things that was cool is people would come up with requests and I'd be like, yeah, it's coming up, like it's in a few songs or whatever, because I had such a vast array of different songs on there. It was fabulous.
Yeah.
Give
Give us a little taste. What do you got? Do you
okay,
play
so, and I
Raining
mean,
Blood by Pantera is on your list?
You know what? Pantera was not on there. That was okay. So hang on. This is a good. Okay, so this was earlier on in it. So I did "Believe" by Cher, followed by "It's My Life" by Bon Jovi, "Summer of '69" by Bryan Adams, "Don't Stop Believing" by Journey, "We Built This City" by Starship, "Sweet Child of Mine" by Guns N' Roses, followed by "Patience," and then "Wish You Were Here" because I was trying to like slow it down a little bit and then bring it back up. I did "Come Together" by the Beatles. Then I went back to Bon Jovi for "Blaze of Glory." But yeah, it was a lot of fun. And then
people dance to what was the slow one that you did? Oh, Patience. Do people dance to Patience?
yeah, totally. Totally. Especially in a recovery crowd. Recovery couples love the song Patience
I
because,
like
you
the
know,
song too, but I wouldn't dance to it. I can't even find where the beat is to it to
it's a
dance.
slow song. I mean, it's a slow song. You dance
Still,
like you
when you're dancing, it's to the beat, even slow songs.
Well, on
no,
patience, you
okay,
do it on
hang
the
on. Yeah,
vowel.
you
You do
do.
it on the
It's a
vowel.
sway song. Like with Patience, it's a sway song. You just sway together and shuffle your feet. All we need is just a little patience. Yeah, you know, it's yeah.
Wow.
That's what you get more into the hips with it
I
when
think you
you
probably
dance
have
with your
to.
lady to this one.
It helps if you get a martini made by Bill Cosby first, right?
I mean, that probably does help.
Yeah.
Uh, But oh, and then
Nice
there was a
pump.
kid. There was a little kid that demanded I play some Eminem. And so I played "Love the Way You Lie."
You know, at the Trump thing at Mar-a-Lago, Vanilla Ice doing "Ice Ice Baby."
Yeah, yeah, that's he was like there in person doing it.
Yes,
Oh
yes.
my god!
And all he
Wow,
did was that song over and over again.
wow,
That's his repertoire. Uh, say,
that's not
he's
good.
been doing
That's not
one
okay.
song for 40 years.
Oh, I did play MC Hammer. You Can't Touch This. I did do that.
All right. Well, so that's our holiday recap, I guess. Let's go back to Epstein's list because people ask me what I'd be shocked about. Uh, I'd be shocked. First of all, I said I wouldn't be shocked if it doesn't come out at all. I'd be shocked if there's anybody I know or have ever met that is on that list. Now, there's only one person I know in my life that I've ever met that has met Jeffrey Epstein. He'll be on the show tomorrow. But I don't think anybody else I know has ever met Jeffrey Epstein. So I would be shocked if anybody I know is on that list. That's one thing. I would not be shocked if there's a former president or two former presidents or even a three. I would not be surprised if there were three. I would not be shocked if there were two. I would not be surprised if there were three former presidents and lots of
Is it coming out today?
supposed to.
Right.
Yeah.
I would be shocked if Jimmy Carter were on it.
You know what? I think I agree. I definitely
Yeah,
I
no,
would be
that's
I would be
fair.
totally shocked.
But now that his wife's dead, you know, like it's too bad he's not still flying the planes because he'd be right on it, I'm sure.
right now. It's already started that I think everybody assumes Bill Clinton is on it, and
Yeah.
but here's the thing: I think, and it doesn't. I don't want to sound like I'm taking sides here, but I am taking sides here. So I should just fucking come out and say I think the difference between Democrats and Republicans right now is Democrats are willing to say, yeah, one of us, or maybe more than one of us, is on that list. But the people on the Trump side, and not Republican side, the Trump side, because I think there's a definite distinction between Republicans and Trumpers, is that they're already, in full denial. And if the list comes out and it has Trump's name on it, it must be a bogus list. There's no way our hero was on that island. And
Why wouldn't his name be on the list? There's already videos of them dancing at parties
exactly.
together.
Oh, no, there's not. That's all AI created. That's all CGI, whatever. It's not real because if Trump is there, it's made up. It's lies. It's the devil. It's Satan put that together. That's the
Oh,
point I'm making. You could show them the evidence now, because and this is the point I'm making. Really, is that if you show the Democrats the evidence that Bill Clinton's name is on the list, they'll say, "Okay, yeah." If you show a Republican that Donald Trump is on, or the Trump Republican that Donald Trump is on there, no way. It's got to be bullshit. It's all lies. So it's absolutely a given that Clinton is on there. But if Trump is on there, it can't be true. And that's that's just crazy. That's where they become a cult. It's like um
I
no
mean, right,
yeah.
where their guy can do no wrong. Anything you say that's bad about him just yeah, no.
And like GD said, we've already seen him dancing with her. We've seen him sitting with his
Yeah,
daughter on his lap right next
Yeah.
to him, and we
yeah.
but so they're already like in full denial mode over this stuff. Like
Yeah.
people coming out, Trump was never on that. How do you know? How do you know? Now, do you care? That's the other part. Well, like Bill, because nobody's going to go to jail over this. Being on a flight list or a client list is not enough to send somebody to jail. They have to. Somebody has to make a formal complaint, and they have to prove it with evidence in a court of law. Nobody's going to go to jail over this list. It's just a salacious. Oh, look, he's a pervert. Do you care that Bill Gates? Does it make a difference that Bill Gates is on that list? And we all know that Bill Gates went to that island. And does anybody care? Does it make any difference in anybody's life that we know Bill Gates likes to diddle young girls?
No.
No.
it will, in a way. Uh, mm,
Are you going to stop buying Microsoft products?
I don't know if you can. I think
Right.
everything.
Therein,
I think everything. I think everything is a Microsoft. But fortunately, though, Bill Gates is not Microsoft anymore, though, right?
He still gets he's not the CEO, but he's still major the major stockholder. He still owns the company. Not owns the
Oh,
company,
okay.
the biggest stockholder.
That's one of the problems I've had since I was like a teenager, trying to just buy things from companies that support the things I believe in. Because after a while, there's so much muddling in there that you think you're supporting the cleanest company in the world, and it turns out they are owned by the filthiest company in the world. So
right.
and they're still getting their cut. So I told my wife at some point we're going to just have to go like full Gandhi and make our own cloth. It's like,
Yeah. Well,
well,
to your point, you can't. Well, I prided myself on not having any Microsoft code on any of my machines for decades, but not on moral grounds, on the fact that they were terrible coders and all their
yeah,
software is really shit. But you can't own a computer and not be dirty, because if you own a Microsoft computer, you're full of all this dirty business on that side. If you own an Apple computer, they're paying for slavery in West Africa and all that kind of stuff,
yeah.
using slave labor. You can't buy a lot of products that aren't tainted by morally corrupt people.
Right. Even companies that say they're like consciously, there's a chocolate company that says that they're like they try. That's the thing, is they try to get like 100% like slave free chocolate, but it says right there, we try.
Right.
They don't know.
CK has a bit on that. There's walking past the store and it said our products are 92% ethically made or something. And they're bragging about like 92. That's not enough to brag about. That you're not using anything really corrupt or But we brag about.
I don't know. I kind of feel like it is, because I think really more so what they're saying is that to find something that's completely ethically made is damn near impossible.
That's what they're saying, and then that's
like we're
valid,
doing as much as we can.
Yeah,
is what they're saying.
Yeah, so for this 8%, we don't care if they had to hang little children or whip little kids into making this stuff, or have somebody make it with a gun to their head and a bowl of rice a day for salary.
Well, also it's possible that of the 100% business that they do, only 92% they could verify. The other 8% could be honest, they just can't verify it.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't know. I'm just saying. Yeah, it's
No,
possible that they're like saying we can verify the 92% is, but the other 8% we can't verify. We hope.
right. But
I
that's you can't put that on a sign that's going to entice people into your store, like that whole sentence that you just put. People won't read that, so they just have this big sign that says 92%, and I forget what the phrase they use is, like ethically or morally.
Retrieved or ethically, yeah, made or
Yeah,
yeah.
it's a weird thing to brag about. 92%. Can we get 98? Would be a little more. 99,
There,
100 would be beautiful.
there's this company. They make a sleep product. I'm not going to say the company's name because I don't want to give them any credit, no, any free press or anything. If they want, but if they want access to our massive audience, they're going to have to pay. So I'm not going to. So I'm not going to say their name. But they said they're in their commercial. They say they are 91% proven to. Wait a minute. 91% set. 91%. Yeah, it works 91% of the time, which proves it works. So it's 100% effective. That's it. And I was like, no, that's not how that works. It's like, no, you're shy like 9%. You can't do that.
Wow. Yeah.
But they do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
isn't that for like error though? Isn't that the percentage that they don't have there? That's like their for error percentage, isn't it?
If you
I think
listen to
that's
the
usually how they.
commercial, if you listen to the commercial, the way they word it, they're saying that it works 100% of the time. After they said that it's 91% effective.
Yeah. 91%. Yeah. All right. That's just crazy. That.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, and the thing is, it goes out. It's a commercial that they play on XM radio, and I don't know why no one has stopped it.
uh, or nobody, no, because I know why. Because people are paying for the commercial, and nobody's gonna. Yeah. Um. So, but is there anything, any ramification? And I don't know even how it's going to come out. This whole Epstein list, like they're not going to do. It's not like the Twitter file is going to be released at noon today. It's just supposedly come out on January 2nd. But is there anything, any fallout from this that's going to have any impact on your life at all?
Well, to be honest, I was thinking of buying a jet, and if Epstein uses the same jet company that I was considering buying from, then I may have to, not get that Lear that I was looking at.
Right.
It's good.
Say somebody in entertainment's name is on the list. Will you boycott their films, movies, music, comedy,
I
whatever?
mean, I've already stopped watching Tom Hanks. I'm just saying. Like,
You think Tom?
yeah, no, Tom Hanks has already blown it for me. And like at this point, like,
On moral issues, or you just don't like the guy?
no, you know what? No, it really okay. So listen, I don't like child touching. It really fucking bothers the shit out of me. Maybe because I was a child that was touched. Kind of has a more impactful fucking thing to me. So yeah, no, like I think Tom Hanks affected me the most.
What do you mean?
Because
Hold
like,
What are you
on,
talking about? Yeah,
slow down a little bit. Is there
dude,
yeah.
his
proof?
name.
I know that people
Okay,
have
yeah,
said.
let me say this. Let me preface this with I don't know for sure, but a lot of my friends when a lot of this stuff was first coming out, like back in whatever it was, like whatever fucking year it was, um, but like there was. I think the flight logs that came out, they were like false or whatever. I don't know. There was a lot of talk about Tom Hanks.
A lot of talk, yeah, but there's
Yeah,
a lot of
Yeah,
talk
yeah,
about
yeah, yeah.
everybody.
Yeah, there
Everybody
was. There
that
was.
everybody that one side or the other doesn't like has been on that list.
Who doesn't like Tom Hanks though? Which is why it bothered me so much.
Are
Hold
you
on,
kidding?
Republicans don't like Tom Hanks because he is a social justice warrior type of person, so they don't like him. It's anybody. It's politically aligned. If you don't like him because you think he's Democrat, you're a Republican and you don't like Democrats. Every Democrat that's ever been has been on that list. If you're a Republican, if you're a Democrat and don't like Republicans, every Republican you can ever name has been suggested to be on that list.
That's
So
Yeah,
crazy.
and if the person that you let's just use Tom Hanks since we're talking about him. If
Yeah,
Tom
because I
Hanks,
mean, I don't know for sure.
I, I'm just saying, if you have someone who is that popular, that socially beloved, and yet that socially active, the one thing you want to do is just throw shit out there, just so that his name is in a discussion.
right.
It
Right.
doesn't have to stick. It's like the
Yeah, no,
20
that's
years.
true.
It's like the 20 years of throwing shit at Hillary Clinton. You know, like all the suicides that she's responsible for, all the death is they just throw shit out
No,
there.
who, yeah, okay.
So,
I'm
but
just
Yeah,
saying.
no, to be fair, when
you
I
already gave
heard
up being
when I
fair, but you already gave up
right,
fair
yeah,
when
yeah,
you
this is
said that
not
you
fair at
gave
all.
up.
Where's the yeah,
You
no, that's
totally
right.
gave up on Tom Hanks years ago just based on somebody saying that he might.
I did. I was so mad, bro. But what it was born out of is that I loved him so much. Like all his movies, all the stuff he's been in. I was such a big fan. And then I heard that. I probably heard it one time.
I've
My
heard
buddy
it
was like, yeah,
hundreds of
Tom Hanks
times.
is on that list. And I was just like, what? Tom Hanks? I'm never watching another
And
Tom Hanks
this
movie
is the
again.
first time I'm hearing of it. This is
No,
like
Yeah.
I've heard of it
Well,
hundreds of
it's
times.
because
It's
it
all
hurts my heart and I don't talk
it's
about it because
it's
I
on
miss Tom
Twitter at
Hanks
least once
movies.
a week, people. But also
okay.
Rob Reiner, I've heard, but there's
Oh
no.
no. No.
I'm doubtful of all these kind of celebrity people. I think
Yeah.
most of the people I think are going to be more powerful than just movie makers. I think Epstein's client list focused on politicians. It focused on people in the corporate world, like the Gateses and those kind of
Right.
people. I don't think he really because it was all about at least if again, it's so hard to fucking know. But the conjecture is
Right.
that he was compromising people on behalf of the CIA, which is definitely believable if you trace his
Man.
background. That basically he was trying to gain control over powerful people. Movie makers are influential, but they're not necessarily powerful. They don't.
Right, they're not decision makers.
Right.
Yeah,
So I
Right.
would be.
they're
That's
like
one.
Joe Camel. They're like Joe Camel.
Yeah. I
Bro, I
wouldn't
had
say
Joe
shocked,
Camel
but I would be
everything when I
surprised.
was a kid.
I would be surprised if Tom Hanks or Rob Reiner or Alec Baldwin, all these people who have been named
Right.
by the knuckleheads
Rob
on.
Reiner would break my heart though, because I love watching Renaissance Man.
Yeah, a lot of people would break my heart if they were really there. But again, it comes down to nothing real will come of this. You can't be tried in a court of
Right.
law for being on a
Because
client.
all hearsay and everything. You don't know what that means, what
Right.
just being on that list means or doesn't
Right.
mean. I mean, yeah, it's all fluff. It's all fluff.
I was on a no-fly list for quite some time.
Well, you
Not
had
well,
buttons. You had
yeah,
buttons.
yeah. The Velcro.
Oh.
So
Yeah.
I,
I could just hear GD going to take a piss.
Yeah.
actually, it's a little longer. It's like
Yeah. So yeah, this list is going to come out. People are going to be talking about it, and a big part of it is going to be denial. If my guy is on there, it's all bullshit. And I just saw something on Twitter just a second ago. Somebody said if Trump is not on there, they're not accepting the list at all. Like,
well, I'm to be honest. If I find out that you're on the list, Matt, it's not going to stop me from doing unless I find that you actually did, like you went to the island.
I
But
promise
if
you,
you,
I'm not on the list. But
I'm just saying,
yeah, no. But
I'm
if
throwing my support behind you.
thank you. I gotta say, if I were ever offered a chance to hang out with all these millionaires, I probably would have taken it without even questioning it. Oh yeah, you're gonna fly me to some island?
I'd have to question it. I'd have to question it because I'm gonna tell you now, my wife. Are you familiar with Rachel Maddow and Tom Hartman?
Rachel Maddow, I know. Tom Hartman streams daily. He's streaming right now on Twitter. Who is he, Tom Hartman?
A very very left wing radio personality.
Ah,
very left wing. Now, usually, if you challenge him on facts, he can back up everything he says. He's not afraid to be challenged. You can question him. And he'll give you his sources. And if his sources turn out to be wrong, he apologizes. No, but he's really, really left. If you go to Rachel Maddow, make a left turn, you'll hit Tom Hartman. Make a left turn to Tom Hartman, you'll hit my wife. Okay, that's so. If I needed a lift to Florida for a gig, my wife would say, and I say, honey, the only plane I can get is one of Epstein. She would go, is that gig that important? Is it more important than our marriage? No, it's not. So she goes, okay, then no, you're not going to perform at the Orange Bowl.
But
So,
keep in mind now, this stuff goes back decades. I mean, probably before you even met your wife. So, if you talk about 35, 40 years ago,
oh,
yeah.
yeah, 35,
So,
40 years ago, I was incorruptible enough on my own.
but
So I didn't worry about the appearance.
But if some rich guy just said you want, a free vacation to an island, I think I wouldn't. Yeah, I wouldn't ask. Oh, do you have 13-year-old girls there? I wouldn't. That wouldn't even come up in.
No, because back then I would have been 13 or 14, and I've been like, yeah, all right, you got that. You got 13-year-old girl. Wait a second, you need a 13-year-old boy?
Oh yeah. Oh, I forgot about that.
Wow.
That part of it. Anyway. So yeah, the whole Epstein thing, very little would surprise me. Jackie's going to be on tomorrow. Jackie I don't know if you guys were even part of this world at that.
But Jackie's on the list.
Jackie knew he went to a party at Epstein's house, and Woody Allen and Bill Cosby were both. He showed a picture. One day, I think I had Jamie and Carl on, and Jackie was there, and he said he pulled up a picture on his phone, and it's him and Woody Allen and Bill Cosby, and they're at a party at Epstein's house. I was like, wow, that's kind of weird, man. So later on that day, I was on Carl and Jamie's show, and I had a picture I manufactured of me in a hot tub with Bill Cosby, Louis C.K., Woody Allen, all these perverts.
That's some hot tub.
Yeah, and it was at Ellen DeGeneres' party, but she just took off to go beat the shit out of a production assistant or something, and she would not in the
Wow.
photo. Anyway, but yeah, so I know Jackie was at a high-profile pervert party with Epstein. I'll talk to him about that tomorrow. He's going to be here tomorrow, but
Okay.
interesting. He's the only guy I know who has actually met Jeffrey Epstein. So, but I would be shocked if Jackie went to the island. I know he didn't. He didn't go to the island. He didn't gain anything. It's mostly rich people, and you look
Right.
powerful people. Jackie,
Yeah, and even the politicians that I knew were never that rich.
yeah,
So
or powerful.
the politicians I knew were more like congressmen and senators, the U.S. senators, but also state senators,
All right.
and they were never that powerful or influential.
All right, now moving just a little bit further on here, the MAGA cult on Twitter it was on Saturday morning, started getting ahead of this thing, literally talking in serious terms about the reptilians and the lizard people coming out to take over the government, like with lizard martial law. And seriously, like putting this out there as like and I'm not just talking about freaks on Twitter, but people involved in the cult of MAGA, General Flynn and
Now, what is lizard martial law? If we're like seen tanning on rocks, we're going to be stoned, or what the hell is?
it's like the lizard people are going to finally come out and say we are lizard people. We are alien reptilian people, and we are now in charge of your planet. And they want to put Biden on that list, which confuses me because why would Biden need to overthrow the government to take control of the government and take his lizard mask off, where he could just say, "I'm president. I'm already in charge." Hello. But
Well, maybe he needs to shed his skin. Maybe that's it. It's because right now he's what 80.
Right.
and so if he sheds his skin, he'll be what 60, so that he
No, he's an
can run.
80-year-old lizard.
Oh, I thought you got younger when you shed your skin. Isn't that the whole point? Getting
I
new
don't
skin.
think molting like de-ages you. I don't think that's a thing. That's not.
Yeah,
Oh, see, I don't know anything about lizard people. I don't travel in those circles, so
me
I
neither.
apologize. I
Me neither.
apologize.
Me neither. But
I
there's
can't believe there's
this,
millions of people that believe this lizard stuff. Millions.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Billy Corgan
I
from Smashing Pumpkins swears that he was in a meeting with a music executive, and the music executive took off his human disguise and showed his lizard face.
Is there a law against doing acid while you're in the contract negotiations? I mean, doesn't the contract become null and void if you're doing acid during a negotiation?
I mean,
No, I don't think
I
so.
mean, you are supposed to be of sound mind. That is
Right,
true.
you're supposed to be of sound mind. So if you're drinking or doing acid and
Drinking,
people are pulling off lizard face while you do that, doesn't that make the contract null and void?
I think out being drunk would, but I'm not sure LSD would. It's not on. I don't know. I'm not a lawyer, but
I mean, if you could
Have you ever
prove that you were on
played one on the
LSD, I'm
radio?
pretty sure you
I
could get
have.
out of sign. If you signed a contract while you were high on LSD and could prove that somehow, I think you'd be able to get yourself out of that contract.
You think you take Doc Ellis's perfect game away from him?
I mean, maybe.
I don't know. But the shocking thing to me about the Billy Corgan thing is he said that on Howard Stern, and he said it with a straight face, like dead serious to Howard Stern, that he saw this guy become a lizard, and there was never any follow up to it. Like to me, every time the guy there's a microphone in front of the guy, I would expect somebody to say, "Tell us more about this lizard thing. Who was it?" Nobody
Yeah,
even
but
asked him.
hang on, don't you realize that there was somebody that got like they come up and grab Billy's elbow right after that interview. It was like, hey, don't you ever talk about the lizard people again, damn it.
Because we'll get you. And they'll go like this. Because we'll get you.
Right. But no, I hear what you're saying, but no, he said it on Howard Stern already. You can't just take just that fear now, because he probably already had the fear if he saw.
Yeah, but if you say it one time, you can just be seen as crazy. If you say it over and over again, it substantiates what you say.
I hear you, but the fear factor obviously doesn't work on the guy. So that's not. If you're going to silence him, you got to kill him. That's
okay.
And they have. Yeah. So they didn't kill him. And that's my point with Alex Jones. If half the stuff that Alex Jones said were true, he would have been murdered a long time ago. Because why would they? You say the conspiracy
Yeah, but he
theory
kills
is,
his own credibility all the time.
yeah. But his conspiracy theories are there's this deep state that is capable of the most crazy, vile things. They can get rid of anybody. They can murder whoever they want. They can murder mass numbers of people. But they can't kill Alex Jones.
I mean, yeah, but okay, don't you think though? From just think about it from their perspective, though, if they are a thing, don't you think that killing Alex Jones after saying those kinds of things would make it seem more like maybe he was onto something?
Yeah, for
like so maybe if it is true, they don't kill him so that they don't seem more legitimate. You see what I'm saying?
What if they just cut off his tail and see if it grows back?
Yeah, that's what I think we should do. We should get one of those cigar cutter things, and we should just start nipping fingertips off of people, and if it grows back, we know that they're a reptile.
Oh, it's like a witch. It's like drown her. If she floats in the water, she floats. She's a witch. So we'll burn her.
Figure it out.
Well,
like
Noah Crutchfield seems to be a new listener, I guess. Says Donnie Trump is a reptilian. We'll discuss that in a second. Now, Willie, what you just said shows me that when it comes to things like mafia related and CIA related, you're kind of naive, because the mafia, the CIA, they don't care. It's like they killed Kennedy. Like everybody they knew
Yeah,
people
that's
were going to
true.
say shit. They don't care what you say or what you think. If a guy's a danger, we're going to off him. We don't care about what you
Right.
talk about after we kill him. You can say anything you want. Talk. But
Right.
if we find him to be a threat to the industry or the whatever it is organization, we're going to off him. Now,
It's like
Donnie,
it's like a restaurant with like a restaurant with an all you can eat menu. The mafia says, "Talk if you want. We'll kill more."
yes, yes, exactly. Uh, uh, Donnie Trump is a reptilian. Now, are you guys up to the Trump smells like ass trending? It's been going for 3 weeks now.
If it's on Twitter or X, they've added like 2 extra steps for me to access my account, and it's not important enough for me to go through those 2 steps. So fuck it.
I think you would enjoy the Trump smells like ass thread, though. It's been going for like 3 weeks. They're saying that he's got a Adam Kinzinger was the first one to bring it up. That people who know Donald Trump, who've been very close to him, says he smells like a dirty diaper all the time. And then it got like wildfire, caught on like wildfire. Now Trump smells like ass is a trending thing, and they're saying that. That's why Melania is so repulsive. Melania, every time he tries to touch her, she's like, get away. And she's like always trying to get behind him. And there's pictures of
Now,
people behind
is
him.
it that he smells like ass, or does he just smell like McDonald's food? Because he just does eat a lot of fast food. So does he smell like fast food or ass food? I mean, that's
Nah, it smells like a dirty diaper. Is what
oh,
they say.
Right.
And there are pictures of since it
That's
came out. They
that's
go
because he wears a diaper and he does because he's far too busy to stop and use the bathroom.
right. Kelly says, pretty sure we need Chrissy for this discussion. Not all Liz's brother fingers back. All Liz's brother's fingers back.
She may be
with
drunk.
him
I think she may be drunk.
It could be. She's still high from New Year's Eve. Chrissy
That's
is
not a
our
very coherent text.
Chrissy is the
Kelly, diddle with your other hand so you can type with your good one.
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. So I mean,
take a break from masturbating while you type.
I think we've pretty much because I don't really have a whole lot to say about this whole lizard stuff, except that first of all, I don't believe aliens are running anything or are even here. But why would they appear as lizards? It doesn't make sense to me at all. So I don't know. I don't know anything more about it. I just disrupted the radio feed because I'm a dick and I can't click straight. But sorry about that, folks. We're back now. Freddie, let's move on. Freddie Prinze, you guys know? Are you guys familiar with the work of Freddie Prinze?
I've heard of him, but I don't think I've seen any of the stuff from back in the day.
I haven't seen any of his new stuff.
His new stuff. What's the show he was on? What's the show?
The Tonight Show with Johnny. His show was called Chico and the Man.
Yeah, I've heard of Chico and the Man, but I've never watched it.
That was his, and ran for 2 seasons. It was a top-rated show. It was on back to back with Sanford and Son.
Yes.
And
okay.
He was a Puerto Rican kid from New York City who played a Chicano, which is not. Puerto Ricans and Chicanos are not the same thing. But because the people in Hollywood couldn't tell the difference, he had cast as Chico and the Man, which was the whole premise was it was a mechanic, an old mechanic. I forget the guy's name. I could see his face, but the old man who's a mechanic.
Albert something Albert.
I don't know.
Albertson.
Jack Albertson. Thank you. Yeah, he was the old man, and Chico was the young employee working in the shop, and he was like a father figure to him, and Chico and the Man. But Freddie Prinze, again, 19 years old on the Tonight Show. Just think about yourself at 19 years old, and would you be able to be standing shoulder to shoulder with the best of the best and come across so cool, smooth, polished, and all that kind of stuff? It's just mind-boggling to me.
No, when I was 19, I was only funny by accident. Well, I take that back. I was cafeteria funny, but I couldn't be funny like on purpose to people. I was
forget
And
I was too nerdy.
take the funny out of it, and just the realizing that you got to
just to conduct yourself,
yeah,
yeah.
conduct yourself and hang out with people like Sammy Davis Jr. and not be starstruck or intimidated, and just be able to engage in conversation like an adult at 19 years old with
No,
somebody
that I
who
could do, but it had to be about politics. It had to be like politics or philosophy because of the way I was raised. My mom raised me to talk to those kinds of people. I was like her show pony. You understand what I'm saying? It's like from 5 or 6 years old, from like 5 or 6 years old, my mother would drag me to these like political events things when she couldn't find a babysitter.
Right.
And somebody would be like talking about something. And my wife, wow, sorry, Freud. My
oh
mom,
boy.
my mom would say, let me go get Glenn. He has some really good ideas on this. And literally, so I would be like talking to like those people, like my mother's show pony. See my
Wow.
bright little genius son, and that
You
carried
were
on
you
until I
were
beat her at Scrapple.
Wow. Yeah, but you weren't talking
you
to
were the
George
Greta Thunberg
McGovern.
of your day.
No,
I can't.
I was talking to congressmen and senators and stuff like that, actors.
Wow. Wow. Very good. Um, but now this whole idea of, because he was a graduate of the New York City School for the Performing Arts, and I don't know, because I've never even asked this question before, if that's a common thing. Like, do all cities have a high school for the performing arts? Do you know? Did they have one in your city where you
I
grew
don't
up?
think so.
Yeah, I think I think it's
No.
a I think it's a really good idea, because he didn't. If you see him in conversation, it's clear that he didn't need a college education. He was educated in high school to the point where he was a sophisticated adult upon graduating high school. He knew about a lot of things, university level type of conversation he could engage in. So these high school performing arts, they were taking kids that obviously knew what they wanted to do in life, and that was being performing arts, whether a comedian, musician, whatever. But they also were put through some real academic, schooling. And I think it's a really good thing. I think we should look into, but include that into our education system, because I think the people who did do that are some really incredibly smart and intelligent people, and I think a lot of it has to do with that kind of schooling. Yeah, we're going to let you perform and do what you love, and we're going to train you to be what it is you want to be. But you got to pass all these tests, and you got to go through
I
this
mean, I
real
think
academic.
that would be a much better direction for education to take,
Yeah,
to like, look at what they're good at, what they're passionate about, and foster that. You know
right.
what I
It's
mean?
like
Like that.
it's like wood shop for the arts.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, exactly.
But in order to in order to be included in the woodshop program, you have to pass math, science, English, and
Right.
history, and to
Yeah.
to a satisfactory level where you feel like an adult. I think it's great. The problem is, a lot of small towns probably can't fund that kind of stuff, and
Right.
and all that kind of stuff. But when you look at somebody like that, you got to think: is he a specially gifted person? Did the hand of God just touch this guy and give him all this incredible maturity, or is he a product of the education system that he was in? I
Right.
don't know. I don't know the answer to that, but it's
Well,
definitely,
it's
and he's
probably
not
a
the only
mixture of
one.
the two, though. Also, you know what I mean? You know, I think that it's imperative that when we notice that in our young people, to encourage that as much as we can. You know
Right.
what I mean? Because when young people, and at least in my own experience, because see, like, I was a very talented young person, but I didn't have encouragement. I didn't have people speaking positivity into my life.
There was
So
wait a minute.
instead of
There was nobody saying to you, masturbate, masturbate, once you were really good at it.
no,
touch your willy. No, there was no one there to. I feel so
No,
bad for you now.
matter of fact, I was told to masturbate less, but I was caught masturbating by pretty much every member of my family at one point, except maybe my grandma. I don't think my grandma ever caught me. Everybody
So
else caught me masturbating at some point.
you never had a priest saying, trying to like get you in the back room and encourage you to be a better alternative boy.
I had a priest tell me that God had his finger on me while he had his finger in me, and it was very confusing time. No, all right. Anyway, I'm kidding.
The hand of God.
The hand of God. Yeah.
I've totally had my mind blown here just now. So yeah. So but the other part of this, one of the kind of he blew his brains out at 23.
That's
You
sad.
can't.
That's super sad.
It's so sad, but he was still doing stand-up comedy. He was doing a show. He's on the top of the world now. 23 years old. Again,
But that's not what.
Trying to wrap my head around this. This is a kid.
Yeah.
Who, like you kind of chime in on this, but basically, he's a kid who knew what he wanted to do. Went to high school with the goal. Had career aspirations very young. You had to. Got all, everything happening for him. He was one of the most celebrated people for a very short time. Young kid, prodigy. Gets a hit television show. I think it had to do with a woman who was pregnant with his son at the time, rejecting him and all that stuff. But I can't see somebody with that much going for him just quickly becoming suicidal. The point I got slowly building to here is at some point that suicidal tendency had to be there all along. I don't think it could have just popped up.
Yes. It didn't, in my opinion, it definitely didn't appear overnight. It was probably something that he dealt with for a long time. Maybe even why he got into performing in the first place, because oftentimes getting into the performing arts is usually a sign that you're escaping something else. You know what I mean? And I mean, when you really look at it. So there was probably something present for a long time. And even in myself, like that was one of the things of why I wanted to get more diligent about how I was treating myself mentally and things like that. Because, it's like you said, I just had some things not happen for me like I thought they would. You know what I mean? Now, if I'm not strong in my mental health and my emotional health, that stuff could carry me off into thoughts and actions that are very not good for me, and that's the importance of making sure that your mental health is strong, that your emotional health is strong, especially when you're in entertainment. Because one of the things that I can definitely say as an entertainer is that the swing you feel from being out there doing a show, the crowd loves you, whatever, that is a huge high. And then you go back to a hotel room or maybe wherever else you might be staying, and you're alone and there's no fanfare, there's no this, there's no that. That is a huge swing in how you feel emotionally and what you can begin to tell yourself in that time. If you're not like in the right direction, you can send yourself into a negative spin real fast and really hard. You know what I mean?
Right. Carl made a comment here that said it's almost as if success or money won't cure depression. That's not what I was suggesting at all. I wasn't suggesting that that would be a cure. I'm saying the way that people can, especially comedians, can mask that level of depression where it's suicidal thoughts and all the ideas of ideation of suicide. That because Richard Jeni did it. To be able to get up in front of a room now, comedians are smiling, they're making people laugh, they're masking this depression to a point where nobody can see the depression. It's like he's Mr. Good Times. He's making everybody laugh. That skill to be able to convey happiness and joy to people and not let them know the pain you're feeling. It's an incredible masking ability, which is bizarre. They covered Freddie Prinze a little bit in the Comedy Store, Mike Binder's 8-part series on the Comedy Store. J.J. Walker, Dynamite was one of his best
Dynamite.
friends. He's the one who discovered the body, I believe, but they didn't go into. It's hard for me to believe that one incident is the reason. Like, a
Right.
girl, whatever it is. I mean, I know it can be a trigger to a lot of things, but the
Right.
fact that he was on stage, 2 nights before, the light of the world, and enlighten people up, and not giving any hint to the fact that he was about to do something like that. It's scary, and it's mind-boggling and all that kind of stuff. It's really hard
I,
to wrap your head around.
I guess it's also possible that some people are depressed and don't even know they're depressed. It's just in their minds, this is just
Right.
who I am.
Yeah.
And so there is like they don't. In other words, to let's say psychologist, they will look at them and go like, "Wow, those are classic signs of depression and suicide." And to the actual person experiencing it, it's like, "Well, I've always been this way. I don't see any different. It's
Right.
like this is who I
Yeah.
am."
I don't know
And
if he had a drug problem. You know what? I'm not even sure. Like, talking around the early 70s, I'm
yeah,
not
he
even
did have
sure.
a drug problem. Somebody should have drugged his ass away from the gun.
Oh
That's
yeah,
the problem.
yeah, yeah.
What?
I don't know. I think cocaine was a big thing in the early 70s. I could be wrong about that, but cocaine feels more like late 70s, 80s when people, because it was sort of as a rich man's drug. You have to be
Right.
pretty.
Rich and or musician like jazz. Although, yeah, no.
I'm gonna look into it further, but I just will
Back then,
probably.
I think it was like a bit barbiturates and amphetamines and maybe Valium.
Yeah, pills were big. This is what people don't, younger Generation X and younger drug users don't understand pills were the thing, because they were cheap. You could steal them from grandma's medicine cabinet. You could get doctors to write your bad script, phony scripts. Pills were
Right.
the big thing in the 70s, a huge
Yeah,
thing.
yeah. My stepfather used barbiturates to off himself.
Right,
And
yeah.
my mother says that my mother says, well, he's always had that tendency. He's always had a bunch of pills just in case. And that was the way she said it. He's
Yeah.
always had a bunch of pills just in case. Like, in case of what?
And-
It's not like a spare tire. It's like,
and
oh, I got a flat. I'm going to fix it.
break glass, overdose. And
Yeah,
that, yeah, that
yeah.
kind, yeah. Very interesting stuff. Um, but yeah, so I'm gonna find the link to that Freddie Prinze debut on the Tonight Show. I urge, 6 minutes of your time, 7 minutes of your time. If you're
Yeah.
into comedy, definitely check it out at some time. I think you'll be like flawed by the fact that knowing this kid is 19, and out of
I've
high,
seen it. I didn't. I didn't know he was 19. Well,
yeah,
maybe I did back then.
being in comedy for less than a year. It just graduated high school less than a year before that. We
It's
all
okay. See, that's kind of the thing that drives me batty about the whole paying your dues and being a part of the local. Like, this dude obviously didn't spend 6 or 7 years before he got on television.
I think
You
he
know what I
did,
mean?
but not in the way that most people do in comedy clubs. He did it in a high school that with obviously. I would love to find out
I
if
mean,
he's
was his
still
whole high
alive,
school experience that place?
huh?
Was
Well,
his whole high school experience that place, or did he go there for like a year or two?
no,
Was it,
that was 4 years of
he
the
went all 4 years.
yeah.
Okay.
I would love to know if his teacher or comedy coach from the high school days is still alive, and if we could talk to him about
How did he even get hooked up to go to that school?
you have to. This is part of
Yeah,
why
it's got
I
to be
brought
like
it
an
up.
invite only.
Yeah, well, you have. Yeah, no, you can apply, but you have to meet certain standards and all that kind of stuff. There was probably some kind of affirmative action definitely included in that. In the 70s, that was a big thing. And
Right.
let's face it, um,
Yeah.
he got lots of different racial components, but he was considered rare because, the Chico and the Man was the first sitcom to highlight Hispanics. Now, they got it wrong. Even though they had a Puerto Rican playing a LA Mexican. or a West Coast Chicano. Puerto Ricans and Chicanos don't even really speak the same language, which is
But
kind of
at least they tried. I
yeah,
mean, you look at what was it, Kung Fu?
right.
They turned down Bruce
With
Lee
David
because
Carradine.
they turned down Bruce Lee because he was too Asian.
No, yeah, well, that makes sense because Daniel Cain, the character, was supposed to be half Caucasian. It was supposed to be
Right.
half and half. Like one of his parents was a
That shows
Caucasian
the only
American.
reason I know who David Carradine is.
Yeah. So I could see why they would turn down Bruce Lee for being too Asian for that because it was supposed to be. But David Carradine wasn't necessarily. There's nothing suggestive of Chinese about who he and the
No.
way he played it was like really he played it like I played. I remember when we did the Podathon and it was like almost 20 hours in and Carl had some guys from England on and they asked me to do my version of a British accent and they said one of the guys said, "We're not retards." Well, yeah, I'm 20 hours without sleep, and I'm not. I could never do an English accent for shit anyway. But ask me to do it after 20 hours and no sleep, I'm gonna sound like a retard. Yeah. So, but that's what David Carradine made Chinese people sound like, all retards.
It's funny. One of my closest friends was Worcestershire. Worcestershire. That's where she was from, where they make the sauce.
Yeah.
And she doesn't say it. She doesn't say it like we say it. I'm just saying that. So because being from there, she didn't pronounce it like we did. And I spent a lot of time with her. So whenever I did a British accent, I was actually just imitating a 70-year-old woman. The way she talked. And then yeah, that was my British accent. It was like, and I would speak like she did, which was not the same
Right.
as they would talk now. I was like, Jesus.
Right.
Ram Rider, Ram Rider, asked when is the client list coming out. That's a good question, but even more importantly, or equally important, is how is it coming out? I mean, we don't know. We know it's supposed to come out today, but where and how? Like, will they release it on Twitter? Will they release it on news organization? Will it come out on cable news? Who knows? We don't really know.
They're gonna
And
ram it down our throats.
I wouldn't be shocked if it doesn't come out. It's kind of like we were waiting for the JFK
Yeah.
files to be released. Trump
Yeah, when are
promised he
those
was
getting
going to
released?
release them. By law, he
Yeah.
was supposed to release them, and then he didn't.
Yeah.
And then Biden still did.
What?
Yeah. So just because they said it was coming out today doesn't mean it necessarily is. Maybe
Yeah,
we're all
just because the
psyched.
government tells you something doesn't mean it's true.
Yeah.
Wouldn't
Now,
somebody else have access to that list though, other than the government? I mean, like, wouldn't
Yeah.
Ghislaine Maxwell, Ghislaine,
Yeah, she's a little busy. She's a little tied up.
she is.
But
is she tied up or just? I don't think that she's under house arrest. I don't think she's like tied up, right? She has
well,
attorneys, right?
she likes to be in that rope binding stuff, you know.
Yeah, so
That's
people are already putting lists out on Twitter, but again, it's all people they
Yeah.
want to be on that list. I want,
right.
it's like what GD said the other day. I would like to think everybody I don't like is on that list.
I mean, I would
Are we
not
doing
mind
a
if my name were
commercial
on the
today?
list,
You wouldn't mind if your name was on the list?
right? Because at least somebody would know who I was for even if it's only for 15 minutes.
Yeah, well, I think you'd get a lot of fucking crazies who want to take. See, I think that's what the danger in putting this list out is. Listen, a lot of these guys have personal security that it'd be impossible to get through, but not everybody is going to have that. And so you put this list out there, you're going to make a lot of crazies incentivized to hurt people.
Well, okay, they can have like a GD Henderson, or maybe an OD Fenderson, and
Right.
so that they just think it's me for a while. That's
Right.
fine. Then we clear it. Then we can clear it up. Yeah, because I don't want to damage my I don't want to damage my marriage. My wife would be like really disappointed in me. Really disappointed.
Wow.
Yeah, you don't want my wife. You don't want my wife being disappointed in you. You might as well you might as well take the Freddie Prince way out.
Uh, So here, Mississippi Sambo on Twitter right now. What is wrong with Tom Hanks? Too many trips to Epstein Island? Will his name be exposed this week when the list is revealed? It's
See, I'm
constant.
not the only one. I'm not the only one.
Not the only one. No, it's constant. It's like every week since we've heard about Epstein that Tom Hanks has been mentioned in the stuff.
I did, when this stuff was first happening, I was on a podcast called Good Times with Arsenic, and we did like a role play. We did like a fake role play thing where Arnold Schwarzenegger and I think Bill Clinton and I can't remember. Everybody tried to play like a different character, but we were all on Epstein's Island, talking to each other, but we were all like celebrity characters. I'll have to find that, and because
So
it was pretty ridiculous.
now we worked our way because Ram Ryder asking when the list comes out. Worked our way back to Epstein here. Do you think this will actually impact people's career? I don't think so. People have been talking about Tom Hanks. He's made movies in the time that people have been talking about
Since
him.
then,
Rob
yeah.
Reiner
Yeah.
has made stuff, and I don't think it. I think the stigma, because again, you can't be convicted of a crime because your name is on that list.
Right.
So I
Right.
don't think it will make much of a difference to a lot of people's careers. All it's just
No.
like another distraction to keep people talking about shit that is not going to change anything in the long run anyway.
I think if you're a nobody, if you're like an unknown, it could make a difference because then people pay attention to you.
No,
I think if
you've
you're
made
like
that clear with what you wanting to be on the list. I get that.
right, yeah, but if you're somebody, if you're somebody who's already established with a worldwide reputation, it's just like nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they
Right.
go through and they go like, the one Willie C is on there. Shit.
What now? This is really irresponsible of me, but I'm going to do it anyway. What if like Alec Baldwin? Because Alec Baldwin is rumored to be on that list, but he's also he got off. He wasn't officially charged, right? With the shooting stuff, he got off on that
No,
stuff.
I'm pretty sure he wasn't he?
He was, but
Well,
got
there was
off.
a trial, so
Hang on, I'm
there
going
was
to
a
Google it right
trial.
now.
Was it dismissed?
Yeah.
I think it was dismissed, but whatever. It did not really end his career. That wasn't a career end. The point I'm making is people who are on that list, will it necessarily end their careers or it just be more like Kevin Spacey? I think he was trending last week. Like he came out with a Christmas video and people were talking about him. Like, doesn't he know his career is over? But is it really? Or is it just like,
No, it's not over. It's just on hiatus.
yeah, it's on hiatus. Exactly. I think that will be the case with a lot of these people who end up being on the list. If any of like show business people really end up being on the list, the Lolita Express, which it's called. Um, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know anything about it, about what the fallout's going to be, and I don't know if there's going to be any real fallout at all, except that more stuff for people to talk about, or not talk about, or deny.
Right.
It would be really interesting to see people like scrambling to try to make excuses, or that will be the fun part of it. Watching people whose names are on that list, like Alan Dershowitz, when and now he can't deny he was there, but because enough eyewitnesses put him there. But he says he never took his underwear off. Like, come on.
Okay, that's because the underwear don't have that little escape hatch in the front.
Right. I mean, so those creative excuses people are going to come up with, or whatever rationalizations, that will be interesting. What to hear the kind of twists and turns that people lie about. Anyway, the Segura thing. Uh, now, people are right. They say because the clip that Opus AI put out there is me just saying Tom Segura is a shitty person. And that's basically all you hear me saying. Now
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
people are angry at me. Who say, "Well, you're gonna say somebody's a shitty person, you have to back it up." Well, I did back it up with the full 11-minute clip. It's really hard, even if I were if AI weren't involved, and I were to edit down a 30-second to 60-second clip for a reel like that or a short on YouTube. I don't think I could actually back it up in that time anyway. But
I think what you need to do and this is, and believe me, this is just somebody who knows nothing about comedy or anything else. Um, is to take that whole clip, the whole 11 minute clip, and do like they do at the end of a movie and on television. You compress the you just go the whole thing just into a 30-second clip. Just do all 11 minutes right there so they can hear the whole thing. Just you just have to slow it down.
Yeah, this triple X person is confusing me. It's like Kelly took over his keyboard or something. Do WHEOW words ORE what they learn spell all day don't now it. This is like Kelly took over somebody's keyboard. All is learn break down what WAT it is control.
Control. All right, that's probably why their name is X. They couldn't get the rest of the letters out for their name. It's like shit. Okay. We'll I like this. We'll just be triple X.
I
Yeah.
gotta reinstate the phone line so people can call up and talk because sometimes typing doesn't doesn't work for
What if
a lot of
triple
people.
X does talk like that?
Well, it'd be good to hear. Like, I don't know.
Triple X sounds like Vin Diesel. I thought you guys knew that.
That's good. A good one. I forgot
Yeah.
about. But coming
Yeah.
back to the
You not
YouTube
know
thing
what
and,
okay.
Segura
And just
and AI.
so, can you not hear me?
No, I hear you, and you're
Yeah.
just
Okay.
We're just ignoring you.
Oh, okay.
like usual.
I guess so. Well, because I was looking up what happened with Baldwin or whatever, and I guess charges were like I don't know if they expired or what, but it looks like back in like April the charges were like dismissed, and in October they had not refiled. So I don't think, I think nothing happened there. I think you're exactly right, Matt. Like he got off of that scot-free.
What you don't now is not lost. You just don't now. I think that's supposed to be no. His K is not working, right? What you don't know is not lost. You
Right.
just
It's
don't know.
probably a restraining order. He probably not allowed to use this K. Racist.
Oh, and they got
Maybe
you bought the right to use your K. You abused it. No.
Kelly probably took his K because she needed one more.
oh my God.
Wow. Yeah. Now, but so coming back to the AI thing and how it really like the one I was talking about last week, where the woman who had the food channel and then the abusive husband and all that stuff. That clip has gone insanely. I think the last thing, 33,000 views over the weekend and comments by all these people on it. Even if I clarified, only one person asked, "What is this clip from?" And then I said, "Oh, glad you asked. Here's the full hour if you're interested in hearing the whole story before commenting on all this stuff and acting like you know this woman's whole story." But the same is now true with the Segura stuff, and I'm going to post more of the Segura stuff because it's also resonating with people. Is that I think I need to incorporate somehow for the AI to say this is from a larger piece before you comment. Maybe go look at the longer piece and see what it's all about.
Yeah,
because
I was glad to see that you put the link to that in the comments, though.
yeah. But so now the other thing I wanted to mention about that was one of the people who commented on that. Who the fuck is this guy? Meaning me.
Yeah, I did see that.
Well, two people did, but one of the people who commented that has the handle Senator Ted Cruz, and the profile is a picture of Ted Cruz. Now, Tom Segura has this whole bit about what a pervert Ted Cruz is, so I don't think Ted Cruz is a fan of Tom Segura. But I don't even think this is the real Ted Cruz. I think YouTube like Facebook would definitely not, or if you reported that, they would ban that person. They have a no impersonating celebrities. Twitter has a verification system. I don't think YouTube has any verification system on it at all, which tend to make me think you could set up a profile claiming to be anybody and really make them look bad by just going into, you could really disgrace somebody because Ted Cruz has no content on YouTube, even though he does have a podcast, which is on a different channel. But I don't believe this is really Ted Cruz. But I asked on Twitter, the YouTube account of YouTube on Twitter, do you have any verification, or you even care about celebrity impersonation at all? It's a legitimate concern that they don't have any blue check marks, any way of verifying that the person who's corresponding with you is
Yeah,
actually
but
doing
God forbid you have like a misstatement because they'll rip down your whole fucking hour.
that.
But you can have a whole profile based on fraud.
That's
But
exactly what the point I was making. Like they're really hyper vigilant about some things that they should let go. Like, whatever. Willie talking about the Facebook thing. They were all ready to fucking give me a strike over that. I had to go to battle over it. But if Willie said he was Bill Clinton and I'm here fucking my 13-year-old on Epstein Island, they would be like, that's fine.
yeah, it's like when Matthew
Yeah.
Perry snorted coke off of Mother Teresa's tits.
What?
On that Sunday morning when Matthew Perry was calling from heaven.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yes, I forgot about that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
okay. That's
Right.
okay for Matthew Perry to do that, but God forbid.
Well, if you're dead,
Yeah. Well,
all
that's what are you going to do?
non-Bible believe
Right.
they go crazy. What all a non-Bible believe they go crazy about? Bad energy peeps, hold on. I am mate. You love Yahshua. Kelly is impersonating somebody without a doubt. No, she said she's claiming it's not her. My middle name. At some point, she denied that that's her, but I think it's got to be her, right?
You know,
have
I
to say goodbye
I
already
didn't
to
know
go.
that Kelly's real first name was what?